Okay, so I saw the new Liam Neeson action thriller film Blacklight. And the biggest reason for why I was excited for this movie was, say it with me. Ready? Three, two, one. Liam Neeson. Like, of course. Like, it's obvious. Like, whenever you hear Liam Neeson attach his name to an action project, you know you're in for an entertaining film. Like, not necessarily quality, but an entertaining film at best. And he brings such a likable presence to any film he does, as well as he does his own stunts, and this movie is no exception of that. Like, there's a shootout sequence, which is our final action piece of the film, and he sells that sequence so damn well. And yes, you can definitely tell in certain shots in the movie where Liam Neeson's stunt double is playing Liam Neeson in the film, but it's really only for one fist fight at the beginning of the film. They can that is where it's obvious, but then for the rest of the film, it's Liam Neeson doing his own stunts, and this guy's like 60 years old, and he's still going strong. And it's just this type of movie surprised me with Liam Neeson's performance, that he can still pull off these kinds of roles. But yeah, I think Liam Neeson's performance, it's fucking Liam Neeson. Like, what else can I say? Like, Liam Neeson in an action movie, he is great. He sells his character really well. He sells the action scenes like as best as he can. Like, he's good in the movie. And now let's talk about the movie as a whole. This movie takes all the best parts of Liam Neeson's career and puts it into this movie. Especially, like, you can definitely tell the second half of this movie is 100% taking inspiration from Taken. Like, I'm not sure if it's in the trailer or not, but with a certain characters that go missing, and you can just tell that the director is taking inspiration from Taken. And it's just this movie you've seen a dozen times before. But, like, it never gets old because of Liam Neeson, because he does, while his performance in this is something we've seen before. We've seen this type of character before, even though we've never actually seen him, like, play a grandfather before. I think this is actually our first time seeing him as a grandfather. That's really the only difference here. But if Liam Neeson was any other character, this would be your standard, typical action thriller film. But this movie, unfortunately, fails as being an action film, because this film plays itself out more as a thriller with no thrills. It plays itself out as an action film with very minimal action injected. And the screenwriting in this movie is fucking horrendous. Like, especially, like, the final 15 minutes of this movie, I think has the worst payoff to any action movie I've seen over the past 2 years, because there's no payoff, there's no satisfaction for our hero, and it's just the way, like, the editing in it is so jarring, and it's cutting, like, they're trying to come up with this very abrupt ending, and you can just tell that either they ran out of ideas. Like, you can tell that there's a good ending here, but the thing is, it was cut to shit, as was this entire movie. Because there's this glitchiness. I don't know what the proper, terminology would be for that, but there's this, like, glitchy, like, style that they do with the editing, where it looks like Liam Neeson's character is going insane, but they do it like every 5 minutes in the movie, and it's the most odd style of editing. And it doesn't do anything for the story. It doesn't do anything, like, for the film. It doesn't help any of the action. It doesn't do anything. And like, the first time you see it, like, it's already old. But this movie repeatedly uses that all throughout, and it's just annoying. And the action sequences are entertaining in this movie. Like, I would be lying if they weren't. Like, yeah, the best action scene in the movie is by far the shootout at the end of the film. But yeah, our villain in the movie is a whoever. Yeah, it's no one you particularly care about. It's no one you you really think about like seconds after leaving the movie theater. This movie, honestly, for me, this is a very political action film, and just that's not why I watch action films. Like I think the political message, I think it will either increase or decrease your experience with this movie. And for me, like I didn't really enjoy it. In like I don't watch action films for a political, social commentary or anything. I watch an action film to be entertained, and this movie relies so much on its political story to carry its film rather than just entertaining its audience. I understand change, but I don't know. Yeah, this movie just failed in almost every area of filmmaking for me. In the editing, in the screenwriting. The screenwriting in the movie is horrendous. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, they're my thoughts on Blacklight.